everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday and fantastic Black Friday. I was at the ranch for Thanksgiving and through the weekend, and one of my friends came over and she was asking me about makeup and things, and she's like, how many palettes do you have? And I'm like, I don't know, around 20 maybe or so. And she's like, you use every single one of those? And I was thinking, well, no, I don't. I use it, and then if it doesn't blow my mind, it kind of gets pushed towards the back of the pile. So today I thought it would be fun and do a little bit of shop my stash, use some of the products that I don't necessarily love, that like they don't blow my mind, but they also aren't terrible. Like I like them, but they don't blow my mind, so they're not everyday products. Or they're just ones that as my collection has grown, they just kind of get pushed to the back. I may really like them, but fallen in love with something newer. Well, before we begin, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, we'll get started. I don't have a new or old eyeshadow primer. I've only actually had one, and it's the this MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So for starters, what I'm thinking of doing is I have the Natasha Denona Bloom palette, and it's got this blush shade in it. Like, it's beautiful. It's just a really deep blush shade. But I think what I'm gonna do is more of a pinky look today, because the palette that I chose has quite a few pink shimmers in it, and I think the blush in my Natasha Denona palette will work as a good base. And it is a cream blush, so I'm just gonna pop it kind of in the crease and a little bit above. It will also be the blush we used today, so it'll give us like a more monochromatic look. I think this palette was one of, if not the first, like the second product I ever purchased from Natasha Denona, just because Natasha Denona is such an expensive brand, and this was on sale and I thought it was beautiful. I just really wanted to try it, and then when I got it, I realized like it doesn't blow me away, which makes me sad because it was expensive, but we're gonna use it. It's not that I don't love it, it's just I don't use a lot of pink, and this is very pink because these both are highlighters. This is like a base to your blush, but it's basically a cream highlighter, and then your blush is pink, and it's a deep pink, so I just haven't gotten as much use out of it as I should. So the palette I chose is the Smitten in Switzerland from BH Cosmetics. And I picked this palette because I saw a look on YouTube from another channel where she did a very neutral, like glittery front portion of her eye, and then on the outer third she did a pop of green. So I bought it for this Mount Ridgey, this green color, and then I only used it once. And I don't know if I just didn't like how I used it or if it just didn't wow me. But we're gonna use it today because I am really into this row here of pinks. We're gonna create something. I am gonna go into Yodel and start deepening up that outer third. Has anyone else done that where they buy one, or they buy the whole palette just for one shade? Yeah, it wasn't my best idea because clearly I don't use it as much as I should. Really, any makeup I have, I should use more. Whew, it's a little crazy. We'll have to clean that up. Next, I'm just going to take my finger and go into the Zurich shade. I'm going to put that all over the lid. Ooh, it's actually got some blue sparkle in it too. I think that looks really pretty. I think I scored with this shade. Shame on me for only using the green and calling it quits, but this shade is really pretty. I'm just taking a flat brush now just so I can get it more into the inner corner. I think what I'm gonna do is go back into Yodel and just kind of deepen it a little bit more and blend in the shimmer now. I don't have an old mascara that I don't use anymore. I'm pretty good about like filtering through them because I know mascaras kind of go bad quicker than the rest of your makeup. So this is one that I've been seeing that is making like a huge release. I'm not sure if it's new. I don't feel like it's new, but it's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I haven't ever tried it before, so thought it would be fun. Has anyone else tried this mascara? Like, is it worth all the hype that I'm seeing it's getting right now? Wow, I actually really like that. That went on super effortlessly, and it didn't clump on my outer third like normal mascara does. Oh, this is good. And actually, for being a thicker wand, I didn't make too much of a mess like I normally do. This is pretty good. Now that my mind is blown on the mascara, let's go into the complexion. And honestly, I go through primers pretty regularly too. The one that I haven't used the most though is this Milk Hydro Gripping Primer. And this is like my mini size, so I think I'm doing pretty good. But it is one that I don't reach for most often just because I don't always like the gripping primer. So we'll use it today. Take about a pump and a half of that. Put it everywhere on the face. I don't know if you can see the giant sparkle like right in the corner of my eye. I was wrapping Christmas gifts and my tags had sparkle on them. For foundation, I'm going to use my Anastasia Luminous foundation. This was one of the first foundations that I fell in love with, and I just had to try it because there were so many people saying how good this was. And I do really love it, and then as I've gotten more foundations, it just kind of went to the back burner, but I'm really excited to use it again. And I'm also going to use one of my first beauty sponges. This is from Believe Beauty. I don't know if you guys have heard. Believe is a Dollar General brand. That's the only place they're sold. And this was it. This was my first one. I don't know if you can see all the holes in it. Probably not good, but my pump is broken, so it comes out in like mini spurts. Thankfully, I think I bought this in the winter time, and now that I didn't really have a tan, but I was a little darker for the summer, has faded. I think I'm the same color. It looks to be matching pretty good still. I think there's something a little off with my foundation and the gripping primer. I don't know if you can see on my forehead, but it's just picking up and really settling into like my forehead lines. It's not blending out very well. Maybe it's just not a good mixture, or I don't know, my foundation could be a little old. For concealer, I am going to use my Becca Light Shifter Brightening Concealer. This is kind of going to be like a second chance because in my memory I didn't like this, but now I don't know why I didn't like it. So we're going to give it another go. Did that do anything? I don't think it did anything. Can you see a difference? Because I still definitely see my purple eyes, and honestly, if it did anything, I think it looks more red, so it picked up my foundation. We're gonna use a different one because that's a little irritating. We're just gonna go into my favorite one because it's right here. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. That looks so much better. I honestly don't, maybe that's why I didn't like it, because it doesn't do anything. That is very crummy though, because Becca is not a cheap brand by any means. Well, I definitely know why I moved on from this sponge. This thing's hard. It's not squishy like the beauty blenders. Next up, we are going to go back into my Bloom palette and we're going to use the blush. Do you see how intense this blush is? Do you see how dark it is? Let's see if I can tone this down, because that was dumb. Oh geez, it's been a day. Okay, so this side doesn't look so bad. I just got way too much on this side. I'm just gonna go back into my sponge and see if I can blend out the corners. Not too shabby. And actually what I would like to do is I'm gonna use this as my highlight too. I'm gonna put down the cream glow for the highlight. I'm just gonna take a highlighting brush. So another product that I don't necessarily not like it, but one that I was super hyped up about and then wasn't thrilled by it is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. And the only reason that I don't think I like it is because whenever I would put it on, my under eyes would look extremely cakey. So I'm just gonna try and see if just dabbing a little bit will prevent that. They just looked extremely dry, and like a couple hours after I'd finished my makeup, my eyes would be all gross. But it's still a very good product because I liked it everywhere else and it really controlled my oils everywhere else. I just didn't like it under my eyes. So I'm kind of like a one and done type person, so if one product can't do all of it, then I might not come back to it, which I didn't. I found my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder that does my under eyes and my whole face. It just kind of makes life easier for me. Who knows, maybe with just doing a little bit on my sponge, maybe that was my problem, is I was just getting way too much product. Man, my forehead does not look good. Not good at all. We're gonna go into bronzer now. I got this back in March, and the only reason I know that is because Ryan and I went to Las Vegas for a construction thing. We did some gambling, and then he was like, do you want to go to Sephora? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And I picked up, I was kind of towards the beginning of my makeup and learning about it, so I asked one of the salesmen, like, what's a very good bronzer? And he's like, the Benefit Hoola Lite. Well, guess what? I barely put a dent in it because I forgot about it. Once I got my butter bronzer, I don't know why I went to Sephora. All I had to do was go to Walmart and get the butter bronzer. I haven't used it very much. I honestly don't know how well it shows up on me because it is the light one. Like, I guess I can see it a little bit there, but it's not, for starting, it was good. But then I feel like I advanced a little bit more and decided I wanted a little bit more color, so I don't regularly reach for it anymore. Now we're gonna go back into our highlight, and of the two, I'm gonna pick this lighter one. This one seems to pull quite a bit of red, and this one has straight out like glitter flecks in it. So it's not just a highlight, it does have the glitter in it, which that's not particularly my favorite type of highlight. But now my big glitter spot in my eye matches my cheeks. So, can you tell what I forgot to do? I just put on my lower lash mascara and forgot to finish my eye look. You know what? We're just gonna let it dry, and in the meantime, I will do my eyebrows and we'll come back to it and try to finish it up. For my brows, I'm gonna use my M Cosmetics Brow Cream. It's not that I don't like this, I just happen to like my Gimme Brow from Benefit better, so I don't reach for this one as often. But today, I figured why not? See, it's not bad, it's just, I don't know, it's just not my Gimme Brow, so I don't reach for it as much. I do like it though. I like that this one, once you're done, they're not going anywhere. They are flat duck. Alright, let's go back into my palette and see what we can, see if we can finish up the eyes a little bit. I'm gonna go back into my Bloom palette and just take that blush again. Not too much, just stamp it on the outer third. Now we're gonna go into Yodel again, and I'm bringing that the rest of the way across. And I'm more doing stamping rather than dragging because I don't want to drag off the mascara. And then I'm gonna go back into the Zurich shade and just put that in the inner third. All right, our final step is the lips, and I have actually been dipping more into lip glosses lately, so I'm just gonna go back to my favorite, the Smith's Rosebud Salve. This is what I would do at the time that I purchased these products anyways. Just kind of juice up the lips and we're done. We are gonna do setting spray. This is the setting spray that I have been using most, and my only other one is the Prep and Prime Fix Plus from MAC, and I like to use this more for eyeshadow purposes, so this is the one that I like to set my face with. Alright, so here is the final look. I feel kind of like a fairy today with my eyes. I actually love how my eyes turned out, so thank you to my friend for making me dip back into some old palettes. I need to use more of them. Anyways, my complexion though, I'm not in love with. Something's going on with my forehead and it looks greasy and gross and I don't like it. But I really like my eye look. I'm not a huge fan of the highlight. I don't think it did a whole lot, which is probably why I don't reach for it very often. But I thought today was fun. It's good for me to actually go back into my collection and see what I do and don't use. So I think we'll do a few more of these, probably a couple a month, just some good old shop my stash. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. If you'll hit that subscribe button, it would mean so much to me. Let me know if you have any video ideas. I'd love to hear what you guys would want to see. Other than that, I will see you on Tuesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you. Bye.